AEW took over Wembley Stadium in London on Sunday for the biggest pay-per-view in this company's history, and main evented by Adam Cole vs MJF for the championship. The match called title changes, personal and their successors, and top stars and promotion competed before 80,000 plus fans. And yeah, there was a lot that went down, starting off on the 0 hour with Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole for the tag titles. If it wasn't already an abundance of intrigue surrounding the main event, it was intensified with this one as they faced off in the opening match. The fans in attendance erupted for the finish, which included a kangaroo kick, the potent double close, and they graced the outcome through action with the enormity of the moment. That match was solid, played out with a story in the heart of the fans at the agony in between it. The post-match saw Cole and MJF stare intently but not losing sight of his Cole despite the elation of the title win. So yeah, it gets 7 out of 10 for me. They get the win. The added title, added intrigue from that, but still not letting go of the main event. Aussie Open, I thought, really got a rub from it as well. So yeah, it was beautifully done. 7 out of 10 for me. Before it was time for Hook versus Jack Perry for the FTW champion. Hook rides the biggest role in his career in the night's second match, defeating Jack Perry in an energetic brawl to regain the FTW champion. The match had a great heat thanks to the superb heel work of Perry, and we all know what happened afterwards. Concluded with a second generation anti-hero scoring the win with a red rum. The question is where Harry goes from here. He's on a roll with attitude changes. Does he jump into another program? Will he be back for All Out? Of course, with everything going on with Punk, but who knows? Lots of questions. But yeah, for this match alone, Hook getting the win, babyface win to kick us off, send the into show, I thought worked really nicely. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. This was good stuff. Before it's time for our first match of the main card reel for the real world title, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. Memories from high school gyms. They wrote in the latest chapter of their rivalry, Punk overcome a forced assault at the hands of Joe that included him being slammed headfirst into the commentary table in a spot that busted him open. Joe appeared to be the best man, countering everything that the opponent threw, and this was until Punk pulled out a rare Pepsi plunge to score the pinfall win. This was a star-studded battle competitors fans can care about, exactly the type of contest you want to start a show. The crowd was hot, but decidedly split for Punk as it rode the roller coaster of the real world champion, his destructive character. Punk then likely moves on to opponent All Out if everything's so fine, potentially Ricky Starks. Proud to see Tessa claims to be the world champion, who knows, but intriguing next steps for Punk. But yeah, I thought this match, for the first match of Joe, playing on its history, it worked really nicely and gets an 8 out of 10 for me. That's great stuff. But it's time for the Golden Elite versus Jay White, Juice Robinson and Takeshita. Yeah, of course, the Elite have a richer history, but it's still a high-energy trios match. Takeshita took advantage of Omega as he fired off Edric to White and Robinson, sneaking in the last moment to score a cheap roll-up victory over the Cleaner. This was an action-packed match, throw holds and rest holds and slowdowns. The crowd ate it red hot for Page and Omega particularly. There were the moments of disjointed action, the occasional sloppy spot, and a lot that can be attributed to trying to include as much as possible in lots of time. The obvious direction was to flee the Omega Takeshita rivalry. I presume that's Square heading All Out. But yeah, I think that worked nicely, and maybe the perfect precursor to that. Takeshita obviously getting the rub here worked really nicely. So yeah, get 7 out of 10 for me. This was good stuff, worked really nicely. Next up was FTR versus the Young Bucks for the tag team titles. They built on spots from their previous 2 encounters to deliver another superb match that concluded with Dax and Cash continuing with a Meltzer driver into a Shatter Machine to retain. The two teams put everything they had at their match, putting each other down with their own finishes in an attempt to add insult to injury. While it did not work, the Bucks went back to the fateful Meltzer driver for a monetary hesitation based on extortion to allow Harwood to put Cash in a position to claim the W. The crowd split right down the middle. Jordan challenged the team's commentary, enhanced the presentation and the sense of urgency from the competitors themselves. This is a great pro wrestling match, and regardless of one opinions from Bucks and their style, they've always bashed well with FTR. And yet another example here, gets an 8 out of 10 from me. A surprise result from me, but yeah, the match definitely didn't disappoint. I still feel like there's more space in there for a few, but it's then time for Stadium Stampede. Cassidy proved his toughness Sunday, wrapping his hand in glass covered duck and rocking Cassidy with an orange punch to score the win in this brutal match. The context won't be in match from now until the next Evo Violent contest. It's trotted out on the pay-per-view. Sunday's bout was wild and chaotic and would have meant so much for feud ender had we not had Nanak in the arena brawling in the parking lot, blowing guts, etc. None of the spots were particularly memorable outside the monetary reaction garnered on social media, basically because there was a decent reputation in the last 3 months. But just focusing on the match itself, Cassidy breaking out with lackadaisical show and putting out stops to earn the victory meant so much more. Instead, it was another violent brawl. It kind of felt like the same thing, but at the same time, I'm a massive fan of Stadium Stampede, fighting in the rule box, stuff like that. It was really cool to see to me. So yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for me. It was good stuff. It was then time for the women's four when Saraya completed her comeback Sunday at Wembley, defeating Storm, Shida and Baker. The match had a lot going on, including the apparent demise of the outcast, outcast among the close attention between the winner and Storm, but it also kind of felt rash at points. There was lots of spots piled on top of another, and the important ones were not given too much time. The potential breakup of the outcast is as best as Storm is a star in her own right, and did not need to be bogged down by a faction that lost sight of its purpose a while ago. The question here is, where's it go? Saraya's wrestled a limited number of times, and hopefully she can wrestle a bit more. Of course it can be rectified next week at All Out, but I think Saraya deserves some time with the belt, and yeah, it's a great comeback for her, winning at her hometown. And yeah, I think the match was bad at all, to be honest. So yeah, it gets 7 out of 10 from me. Not bad stuff, and yeah, really enjoyable and a great moment for Saraya, of course. It was then time for the coffin match between Sting and Darby versus Swerve and Christian. And the bout was a fun hardcore brawl that did not descend into excessiveness but did hit its mark. Sting had his last opportunity to shine in what may be his last major stadium stone. Allin had a typical daredevil sale for Strickland and Cage, were both the cerebral villains that we know him to be, and Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus made late appearances. The match did not break new ground, and it's unlikely to be remembered, but what it was a culmination of a decent feud. Leads up to Allin challenging Luchasaurus, of course, next week. It worked nicely. Sting got a big moment in front of Wembley. The match situation obviously suits him really well. So yeah, on the whole, this wasn't bad stuff at all, and you can't complain. It gets 7 out of 10 from me. But it's then time for Jericho versus Ospreay. Don Callis recruiting Jericho only to shun him in the name of Ospreay may have led to one of the marquee bouts on the card, but it did not play into the contest at all. Instead, they worked mostly a straightforward match with minimal interference from Sammy Guevara and a clean finish as Ospreay defeated the Ocho with 2 Stormbreakers. The lack of interaction between Jericho and Callis suggests the story's over, and the post-match, if any indication, may mean that there could be a battle between Jericho and Guevara, with frustrating mountain over the veteran during his most frustrating year between the ropes. A loss to Sammy God, maybe what's in the over the edge, but a good match here, a really good match. I think, tied into the story of how much it meant to both men, I think that really benefited from it here. It gets a 8 out of 10 for me. I loved it. I think it worked well for both men. So yeah, on the whole, this was really good stuff. Before it's time for the trios title match between the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn versus House of Black. So much effort went into rebuilding the House of Black as a listable threat in AEW. Dropping the trios title here, I don't know, may have felt like a bit of a shame, but Caster and Bowens delivered 2 arrivals and 2 mic drops to put them down and secure the titles. So this made King look vulnerable, but the story as a whole focused on the rejuvenation of Gunn more than it did anything else. Why the decision was made by Tony Khan to answer, it makes it nearly impossible for Cassidy and Bowens to establish themselves beyond Gunn. Perhaps there are plans for the House of Black to win the titles back next Sunday off paying off story here, or maybe not, or maybe it's more long-term stuff, but the match was entertaining. I don't know, maybe some of the long-term booking could be considered a bit questionable, but yeah, I think we'll have to see where we go from there. But yeah, this gets 7 out of 10 for me, but a lovely moment. Adam Cole then took on MJF in our main event. What would happen? Would there be a turn? Would they betray each other? But nothing happened. Despite several teases throughout the match of the clash, including a full straw finish, neither Connor and MJF turning each other. Despite attempts by Roderick Strong to get his former friend to do what he did to take the title away from Devil, Cole did the right thing and succumbed to a small package roll-up as the champ retained. This was a strong main event and hit all of the right story notes, and had a finishing that doubt MJF would have won is not for Strong, but it also ensured that the most entertaining story in the company will continue, which is most likely in the form of Cole and MJF turning on the Kingdom and Strong with the RH Tag Championships at stake. This gets to 9 out of 10 for me. I think there's room for the storyline to grow, of course. The match is brilliant, so many teasers and turns, but it never happened. I think that's exactly what we want. We want long term here, and that's exactly what we want. Exactly what we got. 9 out of 10, buzzing with this. And overall, All In gets an 8 out of 10 from me. I thought it was a really good show. For Wembley, maybe the build-up wasn't quite what we wanted, but once again, AEW delivers on the night, as they so often do. The main event was brilliant. Some of the matches, quality throughout the card, the booking, a lot of it made sense. But on the whole, just a really, really fun night of pro wrestling, an amazing night for AEW. But anyway, guys, that's it for you. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and subscribe to the Daily Wrestling News, and subscribe to the channel. It's going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.